One Piece 1083 dropped earlier today, and it goes without saying that the chapter was an intriguing one. While not the very best that the fans have got to witness over the past few weeks, Chapter 1083 certainly did its job in building up the events at the Reverie. And now it is time for One Piece Chapter 1084 to continue those events further. Fans expect quite a lot of great things from the Revolutionary Army, the Admirals, and all those involved in the events of the Reverie, and it is up to Oda to deliver upon those expectations. More often than not, Oda ends up going beyond the expectations of all the fans, and it'll be interesting to see how One Piece Chapter 1084 shapes up. Cobra's meeting with the Five Elders. Quite clearly, one of the most important parts of One Piece 1084 is going to be the meeting between Cobra and the Five Elders. Towards the end of the last chapter, fans saw Cobra preparing to meet the Five Elders. It must be remembered that Cobra is an extremely important ruler in One Piece, and he stands out among all the others as well. Cobra is one of the members of the Nefertari family, and that means that he's a descendant of the 20 kings. Yet, unlike the other kings, the Nefertari family did not live in Mary-Ajo. Instead, they descended long ago to the surface and lived in Alabasta. For this reason, the Five Elders and, likely, all the other world nobles consider them to be traitors. At the same time, Cobra also harbors a poneglyph in the land of Alabasta which tells the location of Pluton. It is likely that the Gorosei are aware of this as well. They have more than enough reasons to attempt his murder, and that's exactly what they ended up doing. These reasons seem to be enough for any world government officials to kill Cobra. However, whether there will be more to it or not remains to be seen, and One Piece Chapter 1084 will likely answer that question to the fans. More importantly, it will also be very interesting to see how Sabo ends up being incriminated for the death of the monarch that everyone in the One Piece world loved. Sabo's mission. In the previous chapter, fans got to see Sabo trying to rescue Bartholomew Kuma. He was seen near St. Charlos and his son who, together, were attempting to capture Shirahoshi and make her their slave. Sabo plans to free Kuma, and to do that end, he has left the Revolutionary Army commanders to do their jobs, while he frees someone who is very dear to him. One Piece 1084 could see Sabo free Bartholomew Kuma from the grasp of the Celestial Dragons. Sabo may then end up running into the same room where the Five Elders are meeting up with King Cobra. If the assassination is already carried out at this point, this would be the perfect opportunity for the world government to incriminate Sabo. However, it would also be the perfect opportunity for them to capture Sabo, and that clearly hasn't happened. It is possible that Kuma, who Sabo freed, will end up using his ability to save Sabo from this situation, and the rest of the Revolutionary Army commanders will follow. The previous chapter of One Piece gave fans a glimpse of Sabo next to the dead body of Cobra, and that alone is proof that Sabo was there when Cobra was assassinated. At the same time, Sabo also saw Imu, and it is possible that the one who actually assassinated Cobra was none other than Imu themselves. If that is the case, then it explains how Sabo found out about the existence of the person who sits atop the empty throne. Vivi's disappearance. Another very important plot point that could be tackled in One Piece 1084 is the disappearance of the princess of the Alabasta Kingdom, Vivi. As fans know already, Vivi was at the Reverie, however, she ended up disappearing, and this was first hinted at in One Piece Chapter 956, where Garp mentioned that something sinister was brewing related to the Nefertari family and Princess Vivi. In the previous chapter, fans saw Vivi being protected by none other than Rob Lucci, who intended to keep her safe. While Vivi certainly did not want his protection, he seems adamant to protect her, however. Whether he has an ulterior motive here remains to be seen. It is entirely possible that Rob Lucci was ordered to assassinate the princess, while the Five Elders, and possibly even Imu, take care of Cobra himself. Given that Vivi is very much alive, it could be possible that she was saved by another than Pell and Shaka. The two were ordered by Cobra in the previous chapter to watch over the princess, and, given that she would be in dire need of help, Shaka and Pell would do just fine against Rob Lucci. How exactly she ends up with Big News Morgans and Wapple remains to be seen, however. Fans will surely find out soon about that when One Piece 1084 releases. And in other news, One Piece The Siege of Mary Ajoy explained. One Piece 1083 revealed quite a lot of interesting plot developments to the fans. As expected, the story is now focusing on the Revolutionary Army and their war against the Celestial Dragons. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, intends to remove them from power and establish a new world order where the powerful do not prey on the powerless. With Sabo's return in Chapter 1082, One Piece 1083 revealed quite a lot of secrets about the true happenings of the day of the Reverie, when the Revolutionary Army launched their attack on Mary Ajoy. One of the most interesting revelations from this chapter was that Mary Ajoy has now been put under siege by the Revolutionary Army. The attack of the Revolutionary Army. The Revolutionary Army finally decided to move during the Reverie, and Sabo led an attack on the Holy Land of Mary Ajoy. With him were three of the Revolutionary Army commanders in Morley, Karasu, and Lindbergh. Fans know all of them to be extremely capable in their own right. However, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that they actually managed to surpass the expectation of everyone. The Revolutionary Army commanders invaded Mary Ajoy with three goals. The first goal that they had was to destroy the symbol of the Celestial Dragons. This was successfully handled by the commanders and was likely the easiest of all the three tasks that they were given by Dragon. The hoof of the Celestial Dragon is a symbol of power for them, and its destruction means that an open war has been declared by the Revolutionary Army. The second task that they had at hand was to free all the slaves, including Bartholomew Kuma. Thankfully, Lindbergh managed to free all the slaves while Sabo went to free Kuma. This objective of the Revolutionary Army was also successful, and they managed a great victory over the world government on this day. The third and most intriguing objective that they had was to destroy the food storage that the Celestial Dragons had on Mary Ajoy. While it isn't known who exactly did this, fans do know is that this objective was also met, and it paved the way for the Revolutionary Army to put Mary Ajoy under siege. The Siege of Mary Ajoy. One Piece 1083 went on to reveal that the destruction of the food storage on Mary Ajoy was of incredible importance. Although fans might overlook this bit at first glance, given that it isn't all that exciting in a chapter full of fights and intense plot development, it is actually quite important. Now that the Celestial Dragons have no food on Mary Ajoy, they are going to suffer, and to remedy that, they will want more resources coming into their holy land. Normally, they get heavenly tribute in the form of money, and possibly even food from other countries. They also have several ways to get food to the Holy Land. However, that is where the Revolutionary Army comes in. They have powerful underlings all over the world, and currently, as mentioned by Ivankov, they are attacking the food cargoes that are headed to the Holy Land of Mary Ajoy. Essentially, what Dragon is trying to do is to prevent any food from getting to Mary Ajoy. This would eventually stop the Celestial Dragons and aid the Revolutionary Army in three ways. The first way is for the Celestial Dragons to surrender due to starvation. If they are starving, they can't oppose the army very well and might just surrender. This is very unlikely, however. The other possibilities are very real. The second possibility is that this will force those in Mary Ajoy to descend the Red Line and engage the Revolutionary Army in combat. It appears that Dragon has been aiming for that the entire time. Fighting a war on the Blue Sea is much easier than taking an entire army atop the Red Line and engaging in combat there. As mentioned by Ivanov himself, the Holy Land of Mary Ajoy is known to be an impenetrable fortress. As such, leading a successful attack all the way up there is nigh impossible. However, forcing them down is very much possible, and that is exactly what Dragon is aiming to do. What's extremely impressive about his move to destroy the food storage as well as keeping any food from getting to Mary Ajoy is that it will also significantly weaken any forces that the world government has. The Holy Knights were mentioned in the previous chapter, and if they do intend to fight Dragon and his army, having no food means that they could potentially be weakened. What the fans know for sure is that Mary Ajoy is officially under siege, and the war has already begun. This final war is going to decide the fate of the entire world in One Piece, and is one where Dragon as well as Luffy are going to play central roles. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.